Imagine a house where there is literally no such thing as a kitchen. Yet food is still cooked every single day, but in a way you can't even imagine today. 12. England, where everything depended on a single fire. Food, warmth, and even survival. But the real question is, when that fire went out of control, what would have happened to the house? You see, it's important to understand what homes were like at that time. When we imagine a medieval house, we think of a slightly clean, aesthetic version. Wooden beams, warm lighting, a cozy atmosphere. But the reality was far more raw than that. Houses were usually made of timber and mud. Even the floor wasn't smooth, tiled stone, but uneven. Sometimes dirt, sometimes rough wooden planks. And in the middle, a hearth. Not a fancy fireplace, just a place where fire burned. Sometimes controlled, sometimes a bit wild. Imagine the morning scene. It's slightly cold outside, the air a bit damp, because England's weather wasn't very friendly even back then. You wake up, and the first thing you feel isn't fresh air, it's the faint smell of burning wood, mixed with last night's smoke lingering in the air. That smell was normal for them. Today, a person might get a headache in 10 minutes, but for them, it was the smell of home. If the fire survived the night, there was some relief. You'd just stir it, add more wood, and the flame would come back to life. But if it had gone out, then your day started a bit harder. No button, no spark plug. You had to use flint to create a spark, find dry material, and most importantly, patience. It took time. And until the fire was properly lit, you basically couldn't do anything. No proper cooking, no proper warmth. And here's something people often miss. Fire wasn't just a tool, it was a responsibility. Someone always had to take care of it. If there were children in the house, they were taught from a young age, stay away from fire, but respect it. There was fear and dependency. Now the concept of a kitchen. Today for us, a kitchen is a defined space. Cabinets, sinks, stoves, fridges, everything organized. But in the 1400s, none of that existed. The central area of the house was everything. That's where food was cooked, where people sat, where conversations happened. Even privacy was limited, meaning if someone was cooking, another person could be sitting right next to them, or a child could be playing there. The cooking process was also very different. There was an iron pot hanging over the fire. Inside it, water, grains, vegetables, whatever was available, everything went in. Today we call it stew, but back then it was just food. No fixed recipes. Even the idea of taste was different. People ate for survival, not for experimentation. And one thing I personally find fascinating, food continuity, meaning the same pot could be used for days. Today we are used to fresh meals, but there, yesterday's stew became today's stew. Just add more water, more grains, more vegetables. It was an ongoing process. By today's hygiene standards, it might seem questionable, but at that time, it was normal. Now, let's talk about smoke. This is something modern people often underestimate. When a fire burns inside a house and ventilation isn't perfect, smoke spreads everywhere. On clothes, walls, furniture, even in human lungs. That's why health was affected too. But they didn't have scientific understanding of it. For them, it was just part of life. Sometimes there was a small opening in the roof where smoke could escape. But it depended on wind direction how much smoke actually went out. Some days the house might feel relatively clear, and other days it would be hard to even sit inside. Weather was also a constant challenge. England's climate was already cold and damp. Frequent rain. And when your house wasn't properly insulated, the cold came straight inside. That's why fire became even more important. People would sit around it, warm their hands, and simply spend time feeling its heat. Clothing was also interesting. Heavy wool garments that absorbed water easily. If it rained and you got wet, clothes didn't dry quickly, so people would stand near the fire to dry them. It was a common scene. One side feeling the fire's heat, the other side hit by cold air, the body constantly adjusting.
We need more thread
Now imagine for a moment you are inside that house. No background music, no phone, no distractions. Just the crackling of fire, quiet conversations, and sometimes the wind outside. It was a slow life, not boring, but slow. People would sit and share stories, talk about the day's work. No long-term planning, mostly just what to do tomorrow. This simplicity might feel strange today because we've become future-oriented. But then there's the dark side we mentioned earlier. Fire hazards. When a house is made of wood and fire is open, the risk is constant. A single spark in the wrong place could quickly get out of control. And there were no fire extinguishers. People used buckets of water or just tried to control the damage. Sometimes entire villages would burn down, and then people would rebuild. That cycle was part of life. I think the most powerful thing here is that their lives had more uncertainty, but also equal resilience. Today we get frustrated over small things, slow internet, late food, AC not working. Back then, if the fire went out, your entire day literally stopped. And yet, they didn't complain the way we do. Maybe they did, but they had fewer options. Adapting was the only solution. If you compare it to modern life, the difference isn't just technology, it's mindset too. Today, we are addicted to comfort. Back then, people were used to effort. And honestly, in my opinion, their life was tough, but there was a grounded feeling in it that we might have lost. They knew what survival truly meant. They valued every small thing, a burning fire, a warm meal, a dry piece of clothing. Today, we have everything, but sometimes that appreciation is missing. And maybe that's why scenes like this, a simple 1400s house, a burning hearth, feel strangely calming. Because they remind us how simple life once was, and how complex it has become now.